Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 9 of 30. Tonight's talk will be on connections, culture, and love languages. So welcome once more. Thank you for being here with me tonight. So I wanted to kind of talk about connections, culture, and love languages as it relates to sexual education. So I'll touch a little bit about myself and how this relates to me. And then I will give you a tool that's one of my favorites that has actually helped me and many others with connections. So I grew up here in Inglewood, California. I'm a Latina. My mom is Salvadorian and my dad is Mexican. And I was born and raised here in Inglewood. I have an older brother, and he was also raised here in Inglewood. And we both went to private school ever since kindergarten. My parents were low income at the time, but they worked their butts off to get us through this education system, because at the time, Inglewood, and actually, unfortunately, still the education system here in Inglewood needs some reforming and stuff like that. So they wanted to make sure that they could provide the best education possible for us. So we actually ended up going to Catholic schools from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So a Latina from a inner city and also Catholic based, my knowledge about sex, if anything, was pretty negative. You know, sex wasn't talked about in the household other than don't have it. And in the school system where I went, obviously it was embedded in our curriculum, but it was very religious based. So again, my perception of it was negative. It wasn't anything that was talked about in a positive light. So my programming was to think of sex in a negative light. You don't do it until you get married, and if you do it, it's to conceive children. So it wasn't something that I was really educated on, I would say. So up until my adult years, I would say I was able to start educating myself on the topic, because even with my friends, and I have a robust amount of amazing friends, we talk about it, but it was more in a joking manner, or it was talked about in a very not so serious type of way, or none of us really knew what to really talk about. So up until, like I said, like maybe about a year ago is where I really started learning about sex education in a deep way. So in terms of my culture, it's in my culture, in my opinion, is not something that's talked about in a free type of way. We're embarrassed about it. It's more of a topic that we just don't touch. So anyway, that's that. But I'll talk about this more at another time. But what I did want to get to, because I did want to talk about how connections and connections surround how to form connections that will better serve sex education. But what I mean by that is that what are some tools that maybe we could have, no matter what your culture is, no matter what your age is, no matter what your gender is, what tools are out there to help you to build better connections with yourself as well as with others, whether they be family members, friends, partners, lovers, anyone. How can you build better connections with yourself and others in order to enhance your life, which will then better enhance what you know about your sexuality and things like that. So I just wanted to talk about this one tool that actually I absolutely love and I have recommended to a lot of people. Is actually the book, which I have here. It's The 5 Love Languages. So The 5 Love Languages was written by Dr. Gary Chapman. And he wrote this. It was primarily because he was a marriage counselor, and it was primarily for couples. But as you can see, the copy that I have in my hand is actually for teens, because I work with high schoolers. So I wanted to read this to enhance my relationships with them and have a better connection with my students. So the one I have here is for teens, but He has different volumes that are catered to children, to couples, to singles, to colleagues, etc. But it's the 5 love languages. I absolutely recommend this book. I read it and it completely changed the way I think about connecting with other people. And it's very basic. It's almost too simple to the point where you think like, this is way too simple. How does this work? But it's made some progress, not only with my partner at the time, but also with my family members, people that I know, colleagues, etc. This book helps you understand what love language these other people may have, and you can better relate to them in that way. So I'm going to explain those 5 love languages briefly, but if you're interested, get the book. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc. Or you could even go to the 5 love languages website, and Dr. Gary Chapman does a good job in offering an explanation on his website, as well as you can take a quiz online, which will tell you what your love language is, and that helps you define how you like to receive and give love, which will then form better connections with yourself, like I said, or the people around you. So the first love language is words of affirmation. That's number 1. Words of affirmation means these types of people love to be affirmed with words. They like to be validated with words, such as, I love you, you did a good job, you look great today. They like to hear you say these things, and that way they feel appreciated and loved, and that builds a connection between both of you. So let's say your partner's love language is words of affirmation. You know, that's a reminder for you to say, hey, thank you, babe, for bringing me these flowers, or thank you for making dinner, or you look great today. So it's really important that you affirm them with words. So that's the first love language. The second love language is quality time. These type of people, they love to have, go on dates, or spend time together, watch TV together, do activities together. They feel like talk is cheap. So if you tell them things, they'll be like, yeah, okay, fine, but hey, let's go on a walk together. Let's go catch a movie. Let's go to a restaurant together. So quality time is their love language. So that's number 2. Then number 3 is gift giving. This type of person loves to give and receive gifts. So it's not too much about what the cost of the gift is, but this type of person really understands love by gift giving. So they'll give you presents, they'll give you letters. They like to receive flowers, they like to receive gifts, whatever that may be. So they like to do those types of things, just gift giving. That's their love language. Number 4, which is actually my love language, is acts of service. This type of person is the type of person that will do things for you. They will, clean your house. They will do your laundry. They will run errands for you. They will just anything that is helpful to another person, they will do. So that's actually mine, and I actually think that that's my mom's, because my mom growing up, she wasn't very affectionate. She loved us a lot, but she showed it through acts of service. She would make our lunches. She would clean the house. She would do everything for us. To be honest, she actually, and this is a little embarrassing, but she actually made my lunch all up until college when I still lived at home. So every single day of my life, I had a packed lunch of my mom's goodies in there. She made me everything from burritos, tortas, sandwiches, cut up fruit, stuff like that. But now after reading the book, I understood that that was her love language. That's how she showed my brother and I love. So she was not, she wasn't affirming with words. She wasn't, she's a gift giver, so that's a little bit of her love language. She was not, we didn't receive affection, like physical touch or anything like that, not too much. So that was her acts of service, and it's interesting because that's mine too. For example, with ex-boyfriends, I would be the one to do things for them in terms of, I don't mind doing your laundry, I don't mind doing the dishes, I don't mind. That was the way I showed my love to them. So that's my love language, I feel like. And then the fifth one is physical touch. These type of people really like, with their partners or with their family members, they like to hug, they like to kiss, they like to be, to show their affection through appropriate touch. So that's physical touch. So those are the 5 love languages that Dr. Gary Chapman explains in the book. So if you read the book, you get a better understanding and at the end of the book, you could actually take the quiz. But like I said, you could, if you're eager to take this quiz, you could actually go online on the 5 love languages website. And actually other websites are carrying the quiz as well. And it'll tell you what your love language is. That way, if you do have a partner, or even like I said, with your family or friends, you can better communicate what you like and what you don't like. For example, with me, physical touch was one of the aspects that was very difficult for me to get comfortable with, because I would get embarrassed in public if my boyfriend at the time would, kiss me or try to hug me or hold my hand. But if he came home and said, hey babe, I'm gonna do your laundry, I would be like, oh my God, like you really love me, right? But at that time I hadn't even read the book, so I didn't know what the love languages were. After reading this book, it really put things into perspective, and it's very, very simple. So I feel like now, even with my colleagues and my families and my friends, I'm able to see, okay, what's your love language and how can I cater to your needs? And what's my love language and how can you cater to my needs in every aspect of the way? And this isn't just sexually, this is just life. What do you like? What don't you like? So it's a very simple way to understand yourself and understand others, because after reading this book, I really understood myself. I'm like, no wonder I like, keeping the house clean, and I like having things in order. And I understood that really brings me peace of mind. That really brings me, just joy, things like that. So this is a very simple way for you to understand your love language and communicate that with your family members, with your friends, with your lovers, with your partners, with your boyfriends, husbands, etc. Anytime I have a friend that just got engaged, that's one of the gifts that I actually give them, is the book, The 5 Love Languages, because I think it's really important that they understand that, especially if they're gonna, go into this commitment of marriage and really understand what their partners like and what they don't like. So I wanted to share that tool with all of you, because it's something that's helped me immensely. So I think it's just something to look into. It's something very, very simple, but I think it's something that could help. And this goes across all cultures. It doesn't matter if you're Latina, Latino, if you're Asian, if you're Black, if you're white. It's the 5 love languages, and they're universal. They go across cultures. So once we get a better understanding of who we are and what people around us like and don't like, I think it really helps our relationships and our bonding with each other. And that will then translate to everything else in your life, in your relationships. Once you have a better understanding of what that is for you, what that is for other people, that will enhance the quality of the relationship that you create with yourself and with others. So that's what I wanted to offer here today on this Facebook Live, was this tool that I absolutely love and I recommend. Go ahead, obviously this isn't paid, but go ahead and go onto their website, the 5 Love Languages, and or go out and get the book. Maybe over the weekend, or do some research. There's a lot of stuff on it on YouTube as well that's free. So go ahead and look that up if you're interested. And that's what I wanted to offer tonight. And I also wanted to remind everyone that we're going to be launching our podcast in February. So look for that. We are all very excited for that to be developed and shared with all of you. And lastly, if you guys can go onto our website, and any form of donation will be greatly appreciated to be able to move this project along. So if you guys find it in your hearts to give some money to the magic of Psalm, please go ahead and log on to our website, or here on the sites here. Our lovely moderator of the night is Linda. Thank you for putting this on our site here. So that is what I wanted to share. And tomorrow is going to be day number 10 of our 30 Facebook Live. So I hope that you join us for that. And anything else, please log onto our website. Make sure to like our Facebook page, and there's way more to come. There's been a lot of stuff that's been curating behind the scenes, so we have a lot of things that are to come, and we will be sharing with all of you very, very shortly. So thank you, and I hope that everyone has a fantastic and magical night. Thank you.